Have you ever wanted to move or to pass through Milford, Michigan? In this video, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of living in the wonderful city of Milford. What's going on, everyone? Andrew McManaman here with Living in Michigan, the one-stop shop for breaking down the Mitten State. I have received so many calls, texts, and emails from people wanting to make the move to Michigan, so let this be your resource to do the same. As I mentioned in this video, I want to dabble a little bit in the pros and cons of living in Milford. You don't see or hear too much about this hidden gem in southeast Michigan, so I figured I would shed some light on a town I spent most of my childhood growing up in. Starting with the pros, the biggest pro that anyone would say about Milford is the livability. It's something I've appreciated my whole life and still continue to. If you ever have time to take a stroll over to downtown Milford, you'd understand why it's rated above average. Thinking back, we'd spend our time biking and fishing throughout Kensington Metro Park, going to Baker's on Sunday to experience their awesome car shows, then running across the road to get some Dairy Queen, or even next door to grab some fried chicken from Holden's. This doesn't even count what's going on in Main Street in downtown Milford. Going to the Milford Bakery to get fresh donuts, or the prime location of the Milford House before it closed down, there was also an amazing ice cream place on Main Street near Smoke Street that I can't remember the name of that closed down years and years ago. If someone out there knows what I'm talking about, you better comment below so I can sleep tonight. And before I forget, the event that brings all the outsiders in, Milford Memories. This 3-day event that happens in the middle of August every single year is full of art, entertainment, events for the kids, and enough food to have you keeled over for a week. It's basically a farmer's market on steroids. If you're wanting to experience the area, that is easily the best way to do it. I'll leave the festival information in the description below. The entertainment runs late, and so does the service in the beer tents for the adults out there. Sorry I went off on a little tangent, but that just goes to show how many memorable experiences a real person had just heading over to Milford. Some other pros to take note of. The school system is great. Huron Valley Schools is where my mom and dad went, and some other family members as well. Milford High School is ranked very high, not only for academics, but sports as well. On top of that, crime is almost non-existent and the poverty rate is much lower than average. The GM Proving Grounds are also very close, and it gives an opportunity for the residents that live there. With that in mind, real estate prices, economic growth, etc. all prove the positive outlook of Milford overall. Jumping to what you came here for, the cons. One of the biggest cons I have heard from current residents and from personal experiences at times is the population. Just like any small town surrounded by other advanced cities, the town can find itself being pretty packed. Milford has roughly 6,500 people, and the complaint is too many people on the roads. I have driven through Milford at all times of the day, and I would say during the peak hours of coming home from work or going out to dinner is where you see most of the traffic. Another con that has been brought up on few different reviews is the influence of local businesses. You can either see this as a pro or a con, but these local businesses have a pretty strong influence on the town, so the politics tend to be in their favor. So new businesses may struggle to take off with established businesses soaking up the whole spotlight. A few residents have said that the job opportunities are a little hit or miss, as the town has an abundance of college and high school students who fill those positions rather quickly. While firing up the old home search platform, you may find that getting a cheap house in Milford is few and far between. Milford is a rustic town with old homes that have mostly been redone completely, which has been pouring equity throughout the town. You'll figure out that most residents in Milford wouldn't move homes if their life depended on it, which makes inventory a little slim in the area. Like I mentioned in the White Lake video last week, since Milford is a neighboring city, the expressways aren't as close of a commute as most people would like, depending on where you're located, of course, because if you are on Milford Road near the expressway, you of course have an easy commute, but oftentimes you'll find yourself having to drive through town to get to the nearest expressway. I don't mind it because how much I like downtown Milford, but I can see that it is unappealing to some. Lastly, This point contradicts a pro I mentioned earlier pertaining to the schools. I noticed that it wasn't so much that the education the students were receiving was poor, but the amount of dollars used to build the school in every aspect was lacking. Milford, Michigan is a little historic town that shouldn't be overlooked if you're spending any time in Southeast Michigan. There's such an abundance of things to do, you'll never find yourself pacing your kitchen, twiddling your thumbs ever again. If you or anyone you know are looking into the Milford area, don't hesitate to reach out with any questions you may have. I am also happy to be a local resource since I've spent a large portion of my childhood running around the town. For those of you that have spent some time in Milford already, what are your thoughts about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I will do the same for local resources. Thank you for taking the time to watch this week's video. If you enjoy the Living in Michigan YouTube channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, tap the bell to be notified every single time I come out with a new video, and please give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.